In today's video, we're going to be looking at arguably the most consistently important and market impacting monthly releases. And that is of course known as the Non-Farm Payrolls Report, or otherwise known as the NFP for short. And this is simply a measure of the US labor market. I'll be giving you all the necessary information about what actually is the NFP that you need to know to increase your knowledge base when it comes to market moving economic data. Welcome back to my Economic Data Simplified series, where I'm going to be explaining all the economic data release you see on a monthly basis, what they are, and of course how they relate to each other to better help you deal with them in the markets when you are trading and investing. But of course, we're always going to start off with the disclaimer. Please pause this, read it, understand it. None of this is financial advice. These are just my own personal thoughts, opinions, and experiences. And if you are seeking financial advice, please pay a professional to do so. So what is the NFP? Well, in order to grasp the concept of the NFP, it's important to have a fundamental understanding of the labor market, which constitutes the workforce of an economy, including both employed individuals and job seekers. Not everyone in the economy is considered part of the labor force, as factors such as age, and active job search status are also taken into account. Similar to other sectors of the economy, the labor operates on the basis of supply and demand, which can have an impact on wages and subsequently contribute to inflation. Essentially, individuals offer their time, skills, and experience in exchange for compensation, such as salaries or wages. When it comes to the supply and demand of the labor market, the supply side consists of individual workers, while companies create the demand. In principle, if the supply of labor exceeds the demand, wages should decrease. Whereas if demand for labor surpasses the supply, wages should then of course increase. Now, of course, various factors can affect the supply and demand of the labor market. At a macro level, factors such as immigration, education levels, the global economy, and even things like the recent pandemic, as we've seen, can come into play. On a micro level, specific sectors or individual companies that employ, lay off, and determine the salaries of their workforce can also be influential. Various economic data such as unemployment rates, wages, and productivity can be used to measure the labor market. However, the most crucial release for the US is the Non-Farm Payrolls Report. While commonly known as the NFP, or of course the Non-Farm Payroll Report, the official name of the release is actually the employment situation, which is published by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. This report is typically released on the first Friday of each month, and the main figure indicates the number of jobs added or lost compared to the previous month. For instance, if the headline figure shows a positive number of 236,000, it means that 236,000 new jobs were created. The importance of the employment headline report goes beyond just the headline figure. This report includes various other labor market metrics that offer insights into the health of the labor market. For instance, it allows for a breakdown of job additions or losses by different sectors, helping to identify which sectors are performing well or of course struggling. Additionally, the average hourly earnings data included in the report is just as crucial as the headline figure itself. Relying only on the headline figure itself can be misleading, especially in cases where jobs were added but average hourly earnings were decreasing. In such a situation, the economy may not necessarily be improving, despite an increase in the number of people employed, as a decrease in earnings may offset the positive effect of the headline figure itself. So because of this, we can't look at the number of jobs added or lost or the unemployment rate and make a conclusion just based on those figures alone. To gain a more accurate understanding of the market, we must delve deeper into the actual release itself. As the name suggests, the non-farm payroll does not include farm workers. The reason for this is that farming is, of course, seasonal, which can significantly affect the numbers. There are going to be times of the year where farmers will need to hire more and pay higher wages as well. Although this is less of an issue nowadays, as it was more relevant when the Bureau of Labor Statistics began conducting its surveys in 1938, when the US economy was more agriculturally based. The release also excludes private household employees, non-profits, military organizations, amongst others. Now, the NFP release is compiled from two surveys, namely the Establishment Survey, which covers 400,000 private non-farm businesses, and the Household Survey, which includes 60,000 households that represent workers from all parts of the economy. While the Household Survey provides a broader employment gauge and is used for calculating the unemployment rate, the Establishment Survey is considered to be more important due to its larger sample size and official payroll data. The two surveys also differ from their methodology, with the establishment survey potentially double counting individuals with multiple jobs as well as having no age limit, while the household survey does not have such limitations. So why is the NFP so important? I will be adding to this playlist series soon what is GDP, okay, the gross domestic product, and once I have, I'll be adding it here on the top right corner of your screen. And in that video, I'm going to be highlighting that consumer spending plays a vital role in the US economy, actually making up around 70% of it. Hence, an increase in jobs and wages will boost an economic growth as people tend to spend more money. A positive jobs growth figure is generally considered to be bullish for the US dollar, as opposed to a slowing jobs market, which can indicate a slowing down of the economy, which we have obviously recently seen. The release of these employment numbers is closely watched by analysts and companies who may use them to make decisions regarding expanding and hiring, ultimately leading to further growth in GDP. The Federal Reserve will be paying particularly close attention to the data of the labor market, since their dual mandate is to achieve price stability and maximum employment. In fact, the NFP data itself may have a direct effect on monetary policy decisions. If unemployment rates are increasing, the Fed may loosen their policy to increase output and hopefully result in lower unemployment. However, a looser monetary policy can mean lower interest rates, and that can lower demand for the US dollar. On the other hand, strong NFP readings could signal that the labor market is running hot and monetary policy needs to be tightened to avoid inflation. Since the Fed targets maximum unemployment based on the NIRU, the non-accelerated inflation rate of unemployment, which is the highest level of employment that the economy can support without causing inflation to rise. So that means the NFP release with its comprehensive data component is a critical economic indicator in the US and of course globally. Although employment data is significant in other nations, such as Europe for instance, there is more emphasis on things such as manufacturing as a growth driver, while other countries may prioritize things like exports. Now, although there are weekly job releases in the US, the monthly NFP data is considered more significant due to its smoother and less volatile nature. However, this does not mean that the data is always accurate, as revisions to previous months' data are common and can have an impact on the market and our understanding of the economy. These revisions should not be overlooked, especially if they are substantial. It's important to note also that labor force changes aren't the only factor in economic growth. Productivity is also a crucial element, and we're going to be diving into that in an upcoming episode of this series. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you are updated of that. Additionally, you can find the other episodes on economic data releases by checking out this playlist right here. So if you found this series or this particular helpful, please hit that like button. Your support will help this channel reach other traders and investors who may benefit from this sort of content. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.